Everything stated in this video is my opinion and my opinion only. And just like everything else in these cases we discuss here on this channel, everything is alleged. Good evening. How is everyone doing? I hope you guys don't get too upset that I'm not going to be going in and telling people hi. I'm trying to get this done as fast as possible because my internet has been acting up all freaking day. It has cut off 5 different times. I have now called them for the 15,000th time since we have moved here 2 years ago. And they have a mechanic coming out between 11 and noon because it's not my equipment. It's something at the pole. Obviously, I'm not the only one in the neighborhood having these issues, but I want to show you everything as fast as possible and give you the links to all this information as fast as possible. So we're going to do this in a very specific way. I am going to show you things that we received before I show you the new information so that you can see why I'm still questioning the timeline. The timeline. I don't know anyone who would wait this long for a DoorDash order. I don't. It makes no sense to me that this is the time that we are being told versus what we've been told before. So I'm just going to get started here. I'm going to pop up this page and I'm going to give y'all the link to a Google Drive as soon as we're finished. As soon as we are done, I'm going to give you the links to all the things and y'all can go do whatever y'all freaking need to do with them. But for now, this is how we're going to do this. Now, again, this stuff was sent to me yesterday afternoon. I didn't see it until later on in the evening. I'm not telling you where I got it. All you need to know is that I was sent the official website that MPD uses, and I downloaded them from Zen2 myself. But no, I did not request these things. They were sent to me. This information, I don't know who paid for it. That's why I waited 24 hours. Because whoever had this information, as a person who, again, does everything in real life and on this channel with no moderators, no research, no editors, no nothing, myself, the second I would have gotten this email, being just me, knowing how I do things, I would have been either posted within an hour or live within 30 minutes. I haven't seen anything today. So I can't really feel bad about coming out here, even though the original poster or requester hasn't said anything, because I made it very clear. And I know everyone looks at everything that I do at some point or another. Everyone has these little people that do all these things. I know that by now the word has gotten around. That's why Connor emailed me, because he saw that I had the interviews that he is the one who requested. That's how I know that people, word of mouth, it goes everywhere. We are going to do this now. I've given them enough time. I'm sorry. This needed to come out. So I'm going to show you in order what we received. And the very first thing that we received was this crap right here. Is it even going to let me like turn it, or do I have to actually go with the original page? Okay. Regardless, you can't see this anyway. This piece of paper, what does this look like over here? It needs to be bigger. This piece of paper, along with this not signed DoorDash authenticity paper, came out when they were doing all of the motions in limine for the text messages, the 911 call, the IGG, all of the stuff. That's where this came from. In this information, we were told it's only Ethan. In this information, we were told that it's only Ethan. And notice again, it's not signed. As a matter of fact, let's see, do I have that one or do I need to go and get it? I'll show you all this as I go get the other paper. After that came out and the orders were done by Judge Hippler, Judge Hippler put something in his order that he had no business putting in his order, because he had no business coming out and giving us information that was not already presented by the court. Judge Hippler came out and said that at the time frame that Dylan and Bethany and Kaylee and Maddie were in Kaylee's room discussing food, that Xana and Ethan were not home. The fifth roommate, Xana Kernodle, was out with her boyfriend, Ethan Chapin, and was not home yet. Now, I have seen somebody ask, why does it say fifth roommate? Because that's who she was. Kaylee and Maddie are 2. Dylan and Bethany equals 4. Xana would be number 5. This isn't about no mystery person or somebody who hadn't moved in yet. That she literally would be the fifth roommate. This literally says from Judge Hippler, that around this time, keep this time in mind. I'm showing you guys this regarding the DoorDash for a reason. That around the 2 o'clock to 2:10 time frame, Xana and Ethan were not home. They weren't. So when it comes to the actual information for the DoorDash, we were told in court from the paperwork is it showing right here? Right here. From the paperwork that it's not Xana's. Oh, this isn't the right one. Let me go pull up the right one. It says it in the thing that they did not have Xana's paperwork, that they only had Ethan's. I think it's this one. Right here. Contains Ethan's DoorDash records, but does not contain Xana's. Okay? We were told that on March 21st, 2025. But I will tell you, the time that they are claiming this was made. Are y'all ready? Y'all ready for the time that the order was placed? I want to show you. I'm not even going to say it. You'll see that? And there was a message. 2:15 in the morning. It took golly Miss Molly almost 2 hours. Almost 2 hours. So explain to me how at 2:15 they're supposed to be home and making a DoorDash order when the judge is telling us, and Dylan and Bethany are also telling us, that at 2:10, when Dylan is contacting the freaking driver, that Xana and Ethan are not home. Hippler is now telling us that Xana and Ethan were not home. Dylan's interviews, Bethany's interviews, they didn't know where they were. They weren't there. So how is it 2:15? How is it 2:15? And please explain to me how Molly did not mention once in her freaking interview that she got a message from Xana? 3:54 a.m. Are you having trouble finding it? Are you having trouble finding it? So this actually gives more credence to Molly claiming that she saw someone with long brown hair peeking at her through the top 3rd floor window. Because if Xana really was awake, if this really was Xana making this, and I have to say that, as stupid as people want to act like it is, I have to say, if this was really Xana, because of everything I showed you previous to this freaking document, the judge is telling us they weren't home at this time. Dylan is saying, oh, we don't know where they were. She's literally walking down the stairs texting Eric not 5 minutes before this order was placed, and she doesn't know where Xana and Ethan are. If they're home, I think she would know. Wouldn't she? Now, I have questioned, did she place it expecting it to be there when they got back because it was supposed to be some sort of like no contact delivery, or we don't know. There might actually be some sort of communication between her and somebody else that was in the house that night saying, hey, I just ordered some food for me and Ethan. Can you grab it when they get there? We don't know. See, and that's the part that we've been understanding this whole time because of what I just showed you. Because the courts told us that it wasn't from Xana's account. That it wasn't from Xana's account, that it was from Ethan's. They only had Ethan's account information. And as they're telling us they only have Ethan's account information, they're showing us a receipt. They're showing us a paper that looks just like this, except it's all jacked up. And it's very, very small, but it has the exact same customer ID. This delivery ID, the 0760. And look whose initials are right here. MM. Amen. So I don't know why. We were told they only had Ethan's information when this very clearly says Xana. I don't know why they chose to give false information to the courts 3 months before the plea. This all came out in March. This came out in March. The plea didn't happen until June 30th, July 1st. Because, you know, those scratch outs. Now, the only thing about this one is that it doesn't show the name of the restaurant the way that the other one does. Let me pull the other one back up and I will print to PDF that one, just the paper itself, so I can make it big like this because I can't do it otherwise. So let me go and grab that. But when I saw 215, I found that was kind of crazy because Molly didn't get there until it's like somewhere between like 45 and 49 she pulls in. I can't remember the exact timestamp. But it still takes her almost 2 hours to get there. And remember what we were told in her interview. She was taking so long to get back to Jack in the Box that they thought she wasn't showing up. So they threw all the food in the trash and had to remake it. And if this order really was placed at 2:15 in the morning, then yeah, she wouldn't have even gotten back over there until like what, 3:20, 3:15 to be able to have made it back to the King Road area at the time that she made it back to the King Road area. But then again, it could have been even a little bit earlier than that because she was double dashing all freaking night. And she claimed that she had a double dash for this one too, and that Xana's was the second, like the last one of the double dash. That's what it seems like. It seems like at 3:54, Xana sent a message to Molly. Are you having trouble finding it? Order placed. Message at 3:54 a.m. and 5 minutes later, it's being delivered. So that tells me that she was parked behind the house and was walking down that little road with her dog in tow while she was watching a tan sedan with a blondish, reddish, brownish, spiky-haired, needing to shave man drive down the road as she was getting these messages. She never freaking mentioned one time. She never mentioned one time that she got a message from the person on the app. Not once. Not once. We'll go report it. Or as a matter of fact, put the name in the thingy and I'll go block them right now. Yeah. 2 hours. 2 hours. All well at 3:51, Dylan is adding a contact to her phone. Yes, I know. What's the name? Because now I'm going to report them for being losers. It's probably that big boobed idiot that doesn't know how to shut up. That's what it looks like. That's what it sounds like. Because she sure said somebody was looking at her from the third story. Yeah, but that was when she was trying to make an excuse for not contacting the investigators back. That's what that was. That had nothing to do with that night. She was trying to say that investigators were trying to get a hold of her and that she had had an alignment problem and she had just changed out her tires and the alignment was off. So the tires got all messed up. She was making every excuse in the book. not to contact them. On top of trying to say, oh, she has a new phone. On top of that. Mm-hmm. Isn't that insane? Send me the link to the TikTok so that I can report them. That'd be great. No, you don't stream somebody else's live stream. Like, that's so beyond not even etiquette. Like, if I can sit here and wait 24 hours for information that I got, I think you can wait until my live stream is over to talk about it. That's absolutely pathetically ridiculous. I shouldn't even have to say that to you. I shouldn't even have to say that. Like, wow. I even give JLR the benefit of the doubt and give him time. Like, that's crazy. Like, go live and talk about it after I'm done. I'm about to give you the file yourself, but do not do that while I'm live. That's ridiculous. Have some respect. That's the problem. That's the problem. I don't understand how Judge Hippler is telling us in this order. Let me go ahead and get y'all that file. I don't understand how Judge Hippler is telling us in this order that they were not home. But then they're telling us, oh, 2:15, she made the order. Okay, well, where was she? Where was she at 2:15? That's what we need to know. Where was she? Because this doesn't tell us. This doesn't tell us at all. Okay, so here's the folder, guys. And I'm going to add... And this is open access. Even the person who is just streaming can take this and go do whatever they want to do with it now. Because I'm almost done. But that's the DoorDash paper. That's the old information. That's the interview with Molly that I even have in there. And then it's the first 2 pages of the order from Judge Hippler, where it straight up says that at the time the girls were discussing this, Xana and Ethan were not home. So I don't know. I don't know why we've gotten such mismatched information, because if what was produced in the self-authenticating records is what was supposed to be at trial, you're trying to tell me that they were going to give incorrect information at trial? That they were going to just produce some old information about Ethan's accounts and nothing about Xana's DoorDash? Because that's what it looks like. It looks like you were going to do this completely just with nothing, which we already know you had nothing. But the fact that you're sitting here and you don't have the paperwork signed and you're saying that you only have Ethan's information and not Xana's, what were they supposed to produce? What were they going to produce? This? If it was this, why wasn't it already attached to the court file? Am I making sense? Like, if they had this and they knew that it was at 2:15 and they had this direct paper, why wasn't this direct paper what was attached for trial to the self-authenticating records? Why? Why? That makes no sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me. It will never make any sense to me. And it just is what it is. It just doesn't. If you've got the actual information, why are you not using it? Why are you choosing to not use it? I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Okay, let me get the old one put on there so that we can see it better. You know, I have it this way. I really just want to make this bigger. All right, let me see if this will work. I mean, it's so bad. Oh, and it's upside down. Okay. So the way that they had it before, I'm going to try to make this as big as possible, guys. Okay. The way they had it before showed it this way. This is delivery time, 3:59. There's the 0760 ending for the delivery ID that matches. The creator ID is, I believe, the customer ID, the person who created the order. There's the subtotal, $22.35, 1122 King Road. Obviously, the address one more time. And this is the zip code. This is the zip code, United States. Then there's the latitude and longitude. We actually did a video putting these points in, and we saw that it actually went directly to the back slider, at least on the map. When you put the little thingies in there on the map, it went straight to where the back slider would have been, where the patio was. And this is where it says Jack in the Box. And then there is a dasher ID right here that ends in 6374 for who the dasher is supposed to be. So when it comes to the one that we got, if it would hurry up and load and quit playing games with me, it's a bit of a different format. It's a bit of a different format. But again, the dasher ID, the delivery ID ends in 0760. It is the same order. It is the same order. I just don't understand why Molly never mentioned getting a message. That's crazy to me. That's absolutely crazy to me. And for the $22 and some change, Molly did say that it was a small order. So unless you have Dash Pass, which my fat ass pays for Dash Pass, best believe, $9 and something change a month during Black Friday, you can get it for like $6.99 a month. Pay it ahead of time. You'll pay in a month what one service and delivery fee is without a tip in one order. So best believe my fat ass has Dash Pass. Okay. 22 something is probably a small order with no Dash Pass, full-on delivery fee, and a tip. That's probably what this was. She said it was a small order, like one bag. I don't know if that means there was a drink inside the bag. She wasn't specific. She just said it was a small order. Small order. Yeah, they could have been at Sigma Chi, ordered the food, and expected for it to be there when they got back. It's very possible. It's very possible. I didn't think she had her own DoorDash account either, but here we have MM as the initials. MM is the initials. And it's also really interesting when you think about other documents that we did receive, because when it came to purchases of the K-Bar knife, there was someone from Pullman with the initials MM that was on that list. So that's pretty interesting too. Oh yeah, me too. Especially if I need like hella espresso coffee. I don't need to be paying delivery fees on my coffee deliveries because I'll be broke. Because I got it straight from the cops. I downloaded it from Zen2, the link the cops use. It wasn't manipulated unless the cops manipulated it. That's how I know. That's how I do things. I don't just put any little thing up here. Me neither. I've never had my name on the paper. It's always the actual receipt that comes out the counter and they pop it on there with a DoorDash sticker. I have 5 minutes to breathe a day. It doesn't usually work. I tip delivery drivers. That's been a thing since before the internet made it stupid. Don't act like you didn't tip your pizza man whenever everything was still being paid in cash. That's ridiculous. Because if it's no contact delivery, they're supposed to drop it off like where it's supposed to be at and then take a picture and send it to you. I mean, that's how I've always gotten them. And you can see it. You can see exactly where they put it. And I don't have the app actually downloaded right now. I stopped myself from ordering more than I should by knowing that I have to download it every time I want something. I purposely delete it as soon as the food gets here. And I rate it, I delete the app. So it's a little bit more of a hesitation. But yeah. No, Dashers get paid, but it's not a lot. Dashers get paid, but it's not a lot. Right, fast food is nasty, but it's a good thing they also make deliveries from taco trucks. It means to me that for some reason they're lying, and I don't know why. It means to me that for some reason they were putting incorrect, false information into the self-authenticating records that were supposed to be submitted for trial. And if the case is just so shut and closed, then why? All it means to me, honestly, is another question, because why? We have Judge Hippler stating they were not there, but then we have an order. We have an order, but then they also can't tell us what time they actually got home. We try to find out when they got home, and they silence the entire video. Which, by the way, I still have my meeting with the city attorney this Friday. And instead of me just like having another meeting set up at a different time with Captain Dollinger, or excuse me, Chief Dollinger, I was given his direct email and told I can ask him any questions I want. So after my attorney call over the weekend, I'm going to sit down and be very meticulous about the questions that I need to ask Anthony, because he was there from the beginning, even though he was not the chief. He was on boots on the ground in the body cams. Home dude has been in this case from second one. I have lots of questions. And if you're going to give me his email and give me free range, you damn straight I'm about to use it. So we should find out something about processes and what's been going on with this footage, because regardless of having his email or not, city attorney is still going to get all of my issues when it comes to all of this. Because there's no reason for all of the discrepancies, all of the back and forth, for all the reports to say a million things that all the reality is not saying. I don't really quite understand how they can check off on reports that have false information in them. I don't know how they can submit information to the courts that's supposed to be used at trial that has false information in it. How is that? How is that? See, and that's what she tried to say. I'm glad you mentioned that. That's what Home Chick tried to say that she had in that interview that she did with Brett Payne. She tried to say that they had offered her a position with DoorDash where she was actually making hourly now. That only happens if you're good at your job. And little Miss Molly is horrible at her job. She literally says in the same interview where she claims this false bullshit that her rating is low because she's slow, because she double dashes and her delivery times are way too long. If your delivery times are way too long, you're not getting any sort of perks for being a good employee. That's literally the opposite of how that would normally work, at least how you would hope things would normally work. See, that's my thing. Like, you literally, you were leaning over your steering wheel, leaning over to look because somebody was looking at you up on that window at the house where you were supposed to be. You were getting messaged and you were still just like walking around all over the place. You were still just walking around all over the place. Did you not message the person back? It doesn't show if there was a message sent back, if there was a call, because I've done that. Like, it'll tell you if your Dasher is messaging you, and there's even a call option. I've used it. I've used it. So again, I don't know, guys. This is just the information. When I saw 2:15, I was pretty struck. I wasn't expecting it to be almost a whole 2 hours. That's almost 2 hours. That's 15 shy of 2 hours. And the crazy part is that there's no communication that they're showing us except for 3:54. So you're telling me the order was placed at 2:15 and there was no other communication with the app or anything up until then? I mean, I don't know what they were doing in the house. But if you take into consideration anything that's been said, which unfortunately we still have to, because what other choice do we freaking have? Dylan is claiming she heard this and she heard that and blah, 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 whatever. It seems to me that if anything Dylan said has any sort of credence to it, which, see how much I roll my eyes as I'm speaking, please, then Xana and Kaylee would have been awakened together in the living room, and probably even with Ethan. Unless Ethan straight passed out after they got home and Xana and Kaylee were awake and doing stuff, I don't know
Who waits that long for an order and only sends one message? When I tell you I'm a Karen on DoorDash, best believe I am. These prices and what I'm expecting after working all day and stuff comes to me incorrect. Oh no. Oh no. I do throw my fits. I message my dasher and say, hey, I'm just letting you know because the bags are sealed when you get them and it's nothing on you. I have to report something wrong to the restaurant. It's never the dasher's fault. Unless the seal is broken and they've broken into my bags, it's the restaurant's fault. But I'm a Karen on that app. I will ask a million questions. I will see what's taking so long in case there's a problem. I don't play. This is my money that I work hard for by myself. I'm not playing these games. 2 hours is wild. 2 hours for some Jack in the Crack is wild. Can you imagine how nasty that shit tastes when it finally got there? I would really love to know when they're going to release the autopsy results that show stomach contents. Because then at least we would be able to know if Ethan was awake and ate anything. Because that's another question we don't have. We don't really know what he was doing. And this makes it even more suspicious because of the phones. The gray phone was found on the floor next to Xana's body. And the pink phone was found on the bed next to Ethan's body. That's in the damn records. I'm not making that stupid shit up. So how does that work? How does that work? The phone just got magically flipped? No. 2:15 is wild. 2:15 with that major ass delay and the shit that still went down that night. Like, that's another reason why this case just like blows everyone's minds. Because 4 o'clock in the morning, a DoorDash shows up. It's 2 freaking hours late. There's a contact made 9 minutes before that. Little Miss, I don't know what happened, is sitting there doing who knows what, and then doesn't call the cops for 8 hours. While just a few minutes after adding that contact, she sees Xana on the ground, pantsless in a messy room that she can very much describe in great detail, but doesn't know that she's covered in blood. The lights are on bright enough for you to see that she's pantsless, for you to see that she is in a gray colored sweatshirt, for you to see that her room is dirty. Was it blood stains all over the floor? Was it dirty clothes, Dylan? Or was it blood stains? Serious question. Because 8 hours later, she sees Xana in the exact same position. And then she's like, oh my God, my brain is so photographic. I can tell she hasn't moved a freaking hair. Something must be wrong. I'm so tired of these people. I really am. I really am. I just wish we had a little bit of something that wasn't so inconsistent. No, she doesn't. She doesn't talk about DoorDash. She doesn't talk about the order. She doesn't talk about somebody opening and closing the door. Like, if you're awake at 3:51, you're going to hear if Xana is going downstairs and opening the door and then closing the door and coming back upstairs. Like, if you can hear Kaylee and you can hear that she's with her dog or whatever her freaking story is, regardless, she could hear everything. So I don't give a frick, okay? She could hear everything. You're telling me that you didn't hear all this? You're telling me that 5 minutes after you contacted Eric Gower that Xana made this DoorDash order? And if they want us to believe that she was home at the time, that story doesn't work. So while cool, this tells us what the DoorDash information says on the back end, this does not answer our questions about when they got home. It doesn't. It answers no questions. I've ordered 2 places. I've ordered from different places. You don't have to be at your location that you're freaking ordering from. The only time that you ever have to be where you are when you're using an app like that is like Uber or Lyft, because it needs your location for the driver to find you. But when it comes to this, they have their own GPS on their phones, which obviously wasn't working too well for Molly because she still got lost forever. This whole thing makes me mad. This whole thing makes me mad. 3 minutes. 3 minutes before Xana sends Molly the, hey, are you having trouble finding it text, Dylan is adding a contact to her phone. She heard everything. She heard every damn little thing.
And see, that picture is what I'm really confused about, what we're not seeing. Because see, again, I didn't request this information, so I don't know how the person put the information in there. I know that when we asked for very specific information, when it came to the knife sheath and we paid $200 for it, it was 2 emails and 3 photos that were blurry and obviously rushed just to satisfy the response. Let's be so serious. So if this person was asking for everything regarding Xana's DoorDash order, I don't know if they asked for the photo. I don't know if they were specific. I don't know. I didn't request this. So I don't know the verbiage that was used. But we know that they do like to play games. We know that they like to play games. So it's very possible this person asked for literally everything, and this one piece of paper is the only thing that they got, because that's how Moscow likes to do shit. So I don't know. I do not know. DoorDash, when you contact someone or someone contacts you through DoorDash, it pops up random area codes. I've had all kind of different area codes. One time I even had an area code from Kerrville, where I was born and raised, and I thought that was kind of strange that it was showing up an 830 area code with DoorDash, and I'm nowhere near there. But then a couple times later, I had another area code from a place I have no idea. Like, it's just a mixed bag. And I don't think it goes based off of the person, because it's all done through the app. They have a bunch of like just numbers that they use through the app itself. It always just says DoorDash. When I'm contacted by my driver, it just says DoorDash. But I would love to see the picture. That's why I'm really wondering, like, what did the person request? Was it just like receipt for when the order was placed, or was it specific into like everything? I don't know what the person asked for. I don't know what they asked for. All I know is that when Molly shows up, all kinds of noise start. And a few minutes after Molly shows up, Dylan's adding a contact to her phone. And then a few minutes after that, Molly is claiming that she's seeing somebody in a tan 4-door car with reddish, blondish, spiky-ish looking hair, and he doesn't look disheveled and he doesn't look out of place, but he looks like he needs to shave. Never mentions a message from anybody. Doesn't know who she's looking at in the window that's peeking at her. The whole thing is just so what the frick? The whole thing. Yep. There should be one at the place. I have either had them send me a picture of it on the counter and you can see that it's the restaurant counter, or once they get it back to their car, they place it on their front seat a certain way to where the receipt and the name on the bag is like facing, and then that's the picture that I get. I don't know. They won't even, I don't know if anybody's asked for it. But I feel like that's information they definitely don't want us to have. Because you can't just like add a new contact to your phone without you being in communication with that thing, that person. Unless she's for some reason saving like a company name that she Googled, or maybe that she planned to call the next day, which makes no legitimate sense for somebody her age. It has to be a person. Could it be a person she was talking to online and then she got their cell phone number and added it in that moment, having that conversation? Yeah. Could it be somebody that she was talking to in person, face to face at that time? Hell yeah. We don't know. And see, the problem with that when it comes to Jack Ducour's phone is that it got sent all over the place. And Mallory had no idea that it was being sent all over the place. So by the time the information actually got forensically downloaded, the search warrant was invalid. Gotta love it. Yeah, and see, that was what's so weird about the way that she described it. Because that's how she described it. And that's just odd. It's literally the word that she used. It is very strange. That's the good question. I don't know. That's why when it has her name and her initials on there, I am confuzzled. Because Home Chick has a background. and she's slow as hell. And every single time she's been pulled over by the cops, her whole thing is, oh, I've been working for like 12 to 18 hours and I'm so tired. No, it's an excuse you use. One that you think works, but it's so freaking tired and played out. So ridiculous. That's it. I don't know if Molly had a friend that worked at Jack in the Box, but she herself said that somebody, a friend, was sitting in the Jack in the Box parking lot all night while she was dashing. That's weird. If somebody is concerned for your health and concerned for you driving around out there all willy-nilly and worried about your safety, they'd be with you. They wouldn't be hanging out waiting for you in the freaking Jack in the Crack parking lot, not at their house, but in the parking lot of a restaurant. That's just weird. That's just freaking weird. And I noticed that the camera is shaking because my cords are like all everywhere. I have to like move stuff around because the technician person is going to be coming out tomorrow. And even though it's outside stuff they're supposed to check, I know they're still going to come in my room and I'm going to hate everything about it because I don't like people in my house. But I especially don't like no rando in my bedroom at all. So, excuse the shaky camera. It's the cords. The drive-thru is all night. Some people have tried to say that there's a cutoff. There's no cutoffs. If you have a drive-thru that's open all night, there's usually never cutoffs. I know that when I have personally gone in, let me see if I still have this picture. Because I actually went in and I think it was a Saturday night. I went in and I tried to do an order multiple times. Like I did it in the very beginning of this, but I did it again when I saw this comment. Because somebody said that the order's cut off at 2:30, which obviously we know now doesn't matter because she placed the order, or at least are telling us the order was placed at 2:15. But I went in and I put 1112 as the address on DoorDash on a Saturday night. I think it was like 2 something in the morning, and it didn't tell me. Now, I know I'm in a different time zone. I understand that. But it also didn't tell me anywhere on the app or online. Do I still have this right here? That it was going to shut down or close or anything like that. Let me show this to you guys real quick. Yeah, it was 2:32 in the morning that I did this. Let me show y'all this. Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh, it's acting stupid. Hold on. Right here. See if I can get it bigger. Ooh, buddy. Okay. So I put in 1112, so it couldn't try to tell me that, oh, it doesn't exist or some dumb shit like that. It was 2:30 in the morning, and as you can see through the progression, this is me in 2 minutes. This is just, don't pay attention to my phone. I know it was about to die. It's on 2%, and then it's down here at 1%. It's telling you right now I'm doing this in like real life. Even now, see how it says you typically use a different address. Yeah, obviously. But I went to Jack in the Box and I put a little order in, just a random top of the thing to see what it would do. And even then at 2:32 in the morning, it's telling me that it's only going to be 40 to 58 minutes. So 40 to 60 minutes. That's not 2 hours. That's not 2 hours. So I don't know. Things might have been different 2 or 3 years ago. I don't freaking know. All I know is that this is the information that they're giving us. And it's the only thing that we can go off of. Because we have to go off the official freaking information. So if that's the actual information, why didn't they just put that in the self-authenticating record? Why didn't they just tell us that when they put all the information in? Why do they play these stupid head games? Why do they go back and forth with everything? That doesn't make sense. I don't understand. why they played these stupid games. I just don't. I don't. Let me drop the folder for the Google Drive that has these 4 documents into the chat one more time so that you guys can go do whatever y'all want to do with it. It has the new paper in it that shows the 215 and the message. No, Express is for if you want it to come straight to you. Oh, well, yeah, I thought you meant like double, like no double dashing thing. Yeah. If you want it to be brought straight to you with nobody picking up anything else or doing anything else, then yeah, you pay like $2.99, but you can also do your own sort of like double dash. Like people that are dashing can do double dash where they're picking up multiple orders at once, but you can also order from 2 different places at once. As soon as the order is done, it'll usually say like a 15-minute countdown to be able to double DoorDash, and there'll be like other places close to the place that you just ordered from that you can technically go and have them get other stuff from without an additional fee. The thing about that though is that the way that it's put out there is it's supposed to be like the same dasher, but I've only had the same dasher do that for me one time because sometimes the boys want something and I don't want pizza. Sometimes I want some freaking tacos, okay? And not from Taco Bell. Some real Mexican tacos. So sometimes I order them pizza and then I double dash me some freaking barilla. All right. That's just how it works. But I've only had it to be the same person one time. So whenever you double dash like that, it's not another fee, but it's another person. It's another timestamp that you have to pay attention to. It's another tracker you have to pay attention to. And then of course it's another tip because it's a different person and it's more stuff. You're not missing anything. And if you ever do, don't eat the tacos. Don't eat the tacos. It's my son's favorite thing, but don't eat the tacos. Yeah, like I can recognize the vehicles that show up when my food is getting dropped off because I've been like here now for like 2 years. So I like know the people that are in the routine. But yeah, I've only had a double dash be the same human one time. One time. Other than that, it's multiple people. Yeah, it's in Pullman. It's in Pullman. Probably because y'all don't have a lot of drivers. But I've only had the same person once. I've only double dashed like maybe 3 or 4 times. It's only been once. I don't know who FOIA'd it. I have no freaking idea. I don't know who FOIA'd this, and I don't know who FOIA'd... What else did I get? I don't know who FOIA'd... There's a pink slip paper from the city of Moscow's animal impound. I mean, I can just show y'all this because this don't really mean shit to me. From when Murphy got brought in, I believe is what this is. It's really hard to read, and it's just one paper. I don't know who FOIA'd this stuff. I know Connor FOIA'd the Kai Davis interview and the Ava Woods interview. But I don't know who FOIA'd the rest of this stuff. This is the only other paper that was in there. It's on the date 11/13/22. It's 12:59. So it's right after the 911 call, right after we've seen them take Murphy out of there, and right after we were, we heard them tell Olsen to take him to the shelter. So the only thing this says is that it's a poodle, it's a male, it's a tan color, small, medium build. Caller says Vandal Pride. Deputy Jay Olsen with Latell Sheriff's Office brought him in. Reason for him pound. Holy crap, he does his J's just like mine. That's creepy, honestly. His J is just like mine. I don't like that. That's weird. I'm changing my signature now. I don't like that at all. Okay, City of Moscow PD, but it says on campus, which isn't true. That house was nowhere near campus. Well, I can't say that. It was an off-campus house. It had technically nothing to do with the school. It had a different owner, and everyone that lived at 1122 paid rent, had leases.
It says hold until notified by Moscow Police Department, and then it's just signed by Olson, but that's all that's on here. So again, I don't know who's asking for this stuff because it's just singular papers. So I don't know how the person's asking for things. I don't know. I don't know. But it was, oh, I have one more thing. Should I show this already? Connor didn't tell me this was him. So I also don't know who asked for the Floyd's Cannabis Shop security stuff. I guess I can go ahead and show that here too, because I have questions. I am. But first, because this is important. And some of y'all may not like this, but I'm going to question Ann Taylor on something. Okay. Do you guys remember back in Latah County? I'm pretty sure it still happened under Judge. Yeah, well, we had that conversation. I actually sent him those. Because for some reason, the people that got these yesterday got them before Connor got them, even though he's the one who requested them. So when he saw my message, he messaged me and he sent me the proof. His cost letters, he sent me the proof. So I sent him the files. So he didn't have to pay Moscow another $100 because they wanted him to pay an extra fee for Ava's and an extra fee for Kai's. And these damn interviews are a handful of minutes. And he'd already paid them some money up front. So when he showed me that, and I was like, what? He was like, they want me to pay more money. I'm like, these damn interviews are 8 minutes long. What do you mean? So he sent me the cost letter. Sure enough, I was like, oh no, you don't pay them another damn dime. I'm going to send you these through the Google Drive and you go do whatever you need to do with them. So Ava's interview, Kai's interview, that stuff's over on Connor's channel. We will go over those maybe tomorrow. Actually, I'm going to let you guys pick. Right now, I'll go do a poll because I got something else. Today, I paid for the noon to 1 footage. The noon to 1 footage. The duplication fee, because we know Gray Hughes already had it. So we can either go through that tomorrow on a live, or we can go through probably Kai's interview. I'll put a poll up. I will put a poll up. I just downloaded it right before the live started, so I haven't even watched it. I didn't watch it when Gray had it because he just like super sucks at everything. Oh, well, thank you, Jay Embry. Thank you. I will say thank you. I appreciate that very much. Okay, let's put a poll up. Do we want to go over the 1303? What's the time frame? What is the time frame? Because it's 2 separate videos, which I found interesting. Let's see here. Okay, it is 12 to 1220 in one file, and then 1220 to 1303 in the next one. So I haven't watched them. I have no idea. So we'll do from noon to 1, I guess is what it is, or Kai Davis. Kai Davis is interesting because we've been hearing for a long time that it was Jenna's brother that Bethany was seeing. So I don't know if that happened after the crime or during. Because if it was during, then wouldn't that mean that Bethany was cheating on him with Kai Davis? Well, neither can Nick Reiner because he got dropped today, which is another update I need to do on my other video.
Jenna, the one that Bethany was supposed to go to lunch with and had plans with and was talking to on the phone and that showed up, she apparently is with the brother. Right there. Right there. Because that's what I've been told the whole time. And apparently on TikTok and on Instagram, they're together. And Pav, I don't know if you saw it, but I did have a link to a Google Drive that does have the new DoorDash information in it. I'll post it back in the chat, though. And I'll put it in the description box so that you guys can grab that. But yeah, let me put this in here. Any creator that wants to do whatever with this, I don't care. There it is right there. For those of you, creator or not, that want to go in there and grab the information. But yeah, I don't know who requested it. I don't know who requested the DoorDash information. I don't know who requested a file from the impound. I feel like Lana got all that a long time ago. I don't know if that little piece of paper is something that she doesn't have or not. I don't know if anybody else requested the information. But I could have sworn she did. Right? Truth and Transparency. I was under the impression that Truth and Transparency had FOIA'd a lot of stuff when it came to the impound. So I don't know if that's a paper. I don't know if that's a paper that she has or if it's something from before. Yeah, Christy does a lot of FOIAs, but she normally does all like videos the way that Connor does. So I don't know if she would have requested it. Plus, she also follows me. So I think that she would have commented if it was her. But it's possible. It's possible. She usually does videos, body cam, traffic cam, stuff like that. Bethany is engaged. That's why I'm confused, because everyone is saying that she was with the brother of Jenna, the girl that was there for her that morning. But then Kai Davis says in his interview that he was with Bethany at the house for the little brunch, and then they all went over to the Whites. So he hung out with them that day before Bethany took off to go to the Sigma Chi party. Then he went and tailgated at the party. Not the party. He went and tailgated at the football game. Lana was waiting for the impound information. Well, she can have this pink paper. It has nothing on it. I just don't know. I don't know if she was seeing Jenna's brother at the time and she was being not faithful. Because this guy says in his interview that he spent the night over at 1122 recently so often that when his roommates got the vandal alert, they busted into his room to make sure that he was home because they thought he was one of the dead people at the house. That's how often he was with Bethany. So I don't know if they were just hooking up and she wasn't talking to Jenna's brother yet. I don't know how people date these days. I know that when I'm talking to a person, I'm not entertaining anyone else, even if it's not an official relationship, because that's just not cute. How do you know what you want if you're not focusing on the person to find out? I'm not about to entertain no other dumb shit. So I don't know if she was doing the whole, oh, we're just talking and I can do whatever I want thing like a lot of these young people do. I don't play those games. I never played those games, even whenever I was younger. It was one or nothing. So I don't know. That's another thing right there. Why did they wait until April 2024 to interview Kai? And he physically says in this interview that he still talks to her and that she's doing okay.
I'm not okay with that scenario. If you're engaged to another dude, you probably shouldn't just be having random casual conversations with the guy that you used to sleep with. That's just my opinion. So I don't know if they didn't want that information out or not. I don't know. See, that's why I'm curious. Like, was he the naked man running? I don't know. I've asked the same thing about Jack Decor. Maybe that's the naked man that was running. But then again, we have no proof of a naked man. The naked man actually came from a document where Judge Hippler was trying to reference another case, and some people just, they can't tell when a case is being cited in a document and when it's actual case fact. So for a while there was just a bunch of unsubstantiated reading comprehension skill issues going on. That was a whole different case. As a matter of fact, I think the last name for that case was Davis, but it had to do with a hospital and some clothes being folded up on a chair inside of a hospital room. It didn't have anything to do with 1122 King Road. It was just something similar, and the case was being referenced. We do know that one of the rumors that was going around that Bethany, about Bethany, shall I say, was not about a naked man, but about a guy in black going across the front parking area. But we never heard her say anything about that in her interviews. So it was just one of those things that was going around, but there was nothing, once the facts came out, to substantiate it at all. So I don't know. All I know is that he does have red hair, just like Jack. And we know Molly said that she saw someone in a tan four-door vehicle. What does he drive? What does he drive? Anybody know what he drove? Because if it's a four-door tan sedan, that'd be sort of interesting. Looks like y'all want to go over the 12-1. That's what we'll do tomorrow. 71 to 29. He drives a truck. I guess I'll need to see what kind of truck he drove back then so that we can go back in through the cameras and see if we can see him at all on any of it. Zach McClure, right, is the fiancé. Yeah, but I never took that to any seriousness. I know. At all. Except the Dasher. Not a single person was asked except the Dasher. Isn't that wild? Yep, I sure did. And it shows how freaking stupid Vicky Ward actually is. You know, Vicky Ward helped write this trash, this complete waste of tree, this litter. She helped write this shit. See that right there? Little Miss, I used to live next to Epstein. Oh, yeah. No, she's a freaking moron. You want to know how I know she's a moron? Because she sat there in that interview that you're talking about. I didn't watch this thing. I meant to do a reaction video to it. I don't think I ever did. She sits there and she's like this, talking to Ava. She's like, tell them when you were subpoenaed. Because there was something about your story that the state thought was just so important that they subpoenaed you and wanted you to come and talk. So tell them about that. And Ava goes, well, it was the defense that subpoenaed me. So you're sitting there telling me, little Miss Vicky, that you went through all these freaking interviews. You've got this girl sitting there right there on your freaking live stream, and you're going to get that kind of information wrong. You're going to sit there that boastful. Tell them. The state thought something was important that you had to say. And then you're wrong. Like you're wrong about 75% of the shit in this poor excuse of an old tree. Vicky Ward is a hack. I hate this freaking case too. Yeah, I know. I still got to send it over. She's in here. Where you at, cutie? I still got to send it to her. And we still haven't even finished it. I still haven't touched it. Look, that's where the thing still stops. Look. I haven't read all of the end of this yet. But I'm going to. And I'm going to end up like finishing off the way that I did the review originally, but we're just going to do one more freaking video to finish this piece of shit book off. And then I'm just going to go in the way that I wanted to get the most attention without me like running my mouth about stuff. That's what my reaction videos are for. I'm going to go in and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is why you're wrong, James Patterson. How dare you come out here and write crime books and say that it's a definitive account? And it's wrong. It's wrong. Wrong down to him claiming that Hunter Johnson held on to the knife the entire time that the cops were inside because he was too frightened to let it go. I'm sorry, sweetie. That shit was on the floor. What you mean? What you mean? I can't deal. I can't deal. I just cannot deal. I cannot deal. All a lie. All a lie. I know. The thing is, I have to. But it's been how long? How long has it been, guys? Way before the plea. Like right before the plea. Or was it right in between? I think it was announced to come out before the plea happened, but then it came out after the plea, but before the sentencing. And he still had trial written in the cover and all kinds of false information because he couldn't go in and fix it. And he says, now you're the jury. The evidence is in. No, now it is. 7 months later, it is. You might want to rewrite your book. You might want to rewrite this trash. James Patterson has received an Edgar Award, 10 Emmy Awards, and the Librarian Award from the National Book Foundation, along with the National Humanities, the National Humanities Medal on some wrong bullshit. How many other books has he written where it's all false information that he's gotten famous for, that he's gotten rewards for, that he's gotten awards for, that he's gotten millions of dollars for, and it's all wrong? All of them, probably. It is called fraud. It is called fraud. Like, you're technically buying a book off false pretenses. You're buying a book believing that it's a definitive story, that it has the facts, that the evidence is in there, and that it's factual. And that's the opposite. It's false advertising. Everyone who bought this book should technically sue him for false advertisement. Let's start a tort case. I know, and they're wrong. I'm just going to assume now that they're 85% wrong. That's the only thing I can come up with. I don't know. That whole thing with her is wild. That whole thing with her is so crazy. Yes, that's why I said growing up, I was always under the assumption that you can do a movie, you can do a show, you can do an episode because we watch the news, right? But when it comes to books, books are finished stories. Books are supposed to have what you call the end. And when you are writing a book before we've even gotten halfway through the story in real life, you're a grifter. You're someone who's trying to get some AI written bullshit out on the shelf as fast as possible so that you can make money on nothing. James Patterson and Vicky Ward have officially entered grifter territory with this book, especially since they have not even had the human audacity to come out with corrections. All of the information is out there to the public. James Patterson has connections where he could get things that we don't have yet if he really chose to. And instead, he's choosing to just cash his freaking check and not care about how much in his definitive account is false. That's insane. Yeah. They knew everybody wanted info, and he knew that if he waited that because everything was going to end up being open after this, then it would be less people that I think would want his book because more people would be paying to everything that happened after the fact. So he was trying to just hurry up and get that in real fast before people realized that it was full of shit. That's what his company is good for. That right there. Her too. Her too. I told my buddy, I said, you. That's who won the book. I still have to do all this stuff. She hears me tell her all the time, I still got your book. I still got your book. I told my buddy, I plan on writing a book about this case eventually. Years from now. With the facts and the documents, because I've published a book on Amazon before when I was a notary. So I know how to implement documents onto a page. So when I write a book about this, because I've really been thinking about it, I was talking to him about it earlier. I can do it the way that I do it here. I can do it factually with the documents, with the analysis from the forensic team. I don't know why you would ever write a book about this case and not insert document pages or excerpts, proof, telling people where to go, all of the resources. I don't think I've ever read a book where it gave you resources. School books, stuff in college, everything had a resource. Everything had a source page, a citation. But when it comes to a book, I don't think I've ever seen that. So in a few years, I feel, when we've got all that we probably can get for a long time, because in a few years, I don't know what else could be waiting to come out besides somebody finally talking. So after that, then we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, maybe in 2030. I don't know. I just know that somebody needs to put something out there that's truth. And somebody might beat me to it. I hope somebody does, because I honestly don't want to do it. I'm dreading the thought of how long that would take. I really am. Maybe if I did it in sections, it wouldn't be so horrible. I just know what goes into something factual. And to do it right takes a long time. I wonder how long it's going to be before we finally get all the way back to 2022 when it goes to the documents being unsealed. Which we also don't have anything else on besides the paper that came out yesterday. I don't believe there's anything else from when I looked earlier. I don't think the case summary. No, the case summary hasn't been updated since yesterday at 1:40. The same thing. So we're still waiting to see what this so-say thing was that the state wanted to do when it comes to the documents, because I don't know what they're trying to do. But I have a feeling they're going to try to shut it down, which would be pathetic. So we'll see. Well, Perez Hilton's talking shit about Kohberger's sister, which he probably should just go back to his sudden Gypsy Rose infatuation and shut up. Because he's one of those ones, just like Sloan, where they came out here and they talked so much about Gypsy Rose because it was juicy at the moment, and they ignored everybody telling them about the facts that were already out there about Little Miss Gyp shit. They waited until now, when all these FOIAs were done and all these nasty videos came out, to start talking facts, when the facts were already out there and they could have done it the whole time. So cool for you. You're late, but welcome to the party, I guess. Oh, I heard that she was pathetic. I heard. But her and like several others have been really just off their rocker over the past week or so. So I don't even know what the frick. She probably should just keep her reptile mouth shut. For realio. For realio. All right, I'm going to get off of here. I'm surprised my internet hasn't like shut off. It did it like 5 times. 5 times today. It was no fun. Especially when I was trying to edit things. That really sucked. That really sucks. Okay. Let me say thank you. Thank you for joining Satire. Welcome back, Sooner Girl. Layla, 17 months. That's a long time to be here. Welcome back, Aunt Boo Boo.
Why take the photo when the person is there waiting? Oh, well, yeah, because no contact. Trust me, my dogs will be barking. The DoorDash person will hear me say, Slade, the food's here. Because he'll come out his room. He'll go to the door and he'll get it because I'm busy. Yeah, it's just no contact. It's just no contact. Yeah. Ooh, is there a time difference between Moscow and Pullman? Let me, I don't think there is. Pullman, Washington time zone. I don't think there is. Oh, there's the dogs. No, they're both Pacific Standard Time. They're both Pacific Standard Time. So I guess what I can do, I mean, it really doesn't even matter now. We have this timestamp, so it doesn't even matter. I was going to say I can stay up until 6. No, it'd be like 4 something for the order to be in my time for her thing. I just don't think it cuts off. I know we have 24-hour restaurants around here and it doesn't cut off. I could order anytime I want if it's 24 hours, even if it's just a drive-through. But 2 hours for some Jack in the Crack is crazy. That's really wild. Thank you for the $4.99 Motive and Malice. Do we know where Jack D worked? He said he dropped food off to a friend at the corner club before he went home. I honestly don't know where Jack worked. I know he probably meant dropping that off to Adam before going home and then obviously going back to the corner club. But I don't know. That's a good question. I'm sure somebody in the chat might know where he worked. Welcome, Ryan. Welcome. Thank you for the $1.99 Motive. What Molly was there to pick up the knife? Oh, what if Molly was there to... Oh, I don't know. I just know, again, that when it came to the documents that came out for people in Pullman that had purchased a K-bar knife, the initials MM were on there. And I know that, yes, multiple people in this case have these initials. We have the Moy siblings. We have Maddie herself. And then we have Molly. But Molly's the only one that lives in Pullman. That's not to say there's not other people with the initials MM that also live in Pullman that might have bought a K-bar. I just find it interesting the way that has worked out with that. And you gifted a membership, Brian. Thank you. And thank you again for the $49.99 J. Embry. I appreciate that. Thank you for the $4.99 White Rabbit. We have come full circle. That knee will bend. I love it. The truth will prevail. Thank you forever. I think BF was so sloppy she wanted Ethan too. Some people might think that. I don't know enough about their relationship or how they interacted to know any of that stuff. And we've never heard from her because she's a coward. Bethany Funk, you are a coward. You refuse to talk at all for anything, and you've got people that you drug into this situation talking for you, and that's not fair. You are a grown-ass human. If you think that you're mature enough for a marriage, then you should be mature enough to make a statement. But instead, you're a coward. And that's just what it is. At least we can say Dylan came out and actually said something. It was fake as shit. There were no tears coming out of her eyes, and her cheeks were not red at all. And that was definitely on cue, but at least she came out and showed her face. Be it only for money, because that GoFundMe is wild and out, but at least she showed her face. If you can't come out and make a statement, then you don't need to be getting married, because you don't understand what it's like to be a mature adult. Probably. Maybe. That's what I'm questioning. I'm really questioning, was she actually seeing, sleeping with, and dating Jenna's brother and this Kai guy at the same time? And if this is the reason why she's chosen not to come back to Idaho and not to speak, well, then you're more of a coward than I thought. Because what? What? But I'm also really curious as to why this person wasn't contacted. Unless he was. And we just don't know, and he's not telling us. Because he's claiming that he heard about it from his roommates that, again, barged in. Because he had been over at 1122 with Bethany so much they thought he was over there and had died. His own words. Go to Connor's channel and listen to it. Which, as a matter of fact, I'll put a link for his channel in here too real quick. so you guys can go and see that, because we won't be going over that until we might do it tomorrow night if I can handle getting on here around. I'm not even going to say a time. If I can get here earlier to be able to go through the footage, then we'll go over Kai's interview later on that same night. But for now, I am going to give y'all this link. This is to Connor's channel. He has Ava's and Kai Davis's over there, where Kai says all this stuff and they do not blank out Bethany's name. So even though it is blanked out in the report, it is not blanked out in the interview. They say Bethany's name, which I was really surprised about, because they've been redacting the shit out of their names, even though we've known who they were for over 3 years now. So to hear Bethany's name actually being stated was interesting. I'll say that. But hopefully, if she was cheating, he does understand and he does get it, and he is going to do the math, and he won't marry her straight up. If you're a cheater, you better just get busted and just walk away, because screw you, bro. But if they weren't dating and it's not a big deal, then okay. But Bethany literally told the officer in her interview that she wasn't seeing anyone. She told that to Blaker in her interview. Why lie to the cops? Why lie to the cops about if you're dating somebody or sleeping with somebody? Like, why? If it has nothing to do with the situation going on here, why would you just say no? See, it's the little stupid shit like that. Like, why? What's the point? Dumb. Thank you for the $1.99, Tabitha. Thank you for the $4.99 again, White Rabbit. DoorDash and phone activity aren't even signs of life. That's true. Dylan could have ordered that. The planning the perps did is disgustingly obvious. I mean, you're not wrong. A 2:15 order time does not equal proof of life. It doesn't, especially with all of the inconsistencies. We're supposed to just be like, oh, okay. I'm sorry, but I read the judge's order and he doesn't put them in that house. So if they ordered it at 2:15, where were they? What is their location from the phone at the time she makes this order? Why can't we know that? If she was at 1122 King Road 5 minutes after Dylan contacted Eric Gower, why wasn't it a bigger DoorDash order for everyone in the house that was hungry? Why is it just for $20? Which also, I'm telling you right now, unless she had Dash Pass, probably includes like a $4.99 delivery fee and then some other taxed bullshit, and then obviously the tip, if she gave one. The contradictions are the problem. We don't come into this not wanting to believe it. We come into this being like, holy shit, we finally get some information. Maybe something's going to make sense. And then we start going over it and realize, no, false hopes once again. False hopes once again. Do you think the DD order had any substances? I don't know. I don't know. Questioning if you're having trouble finding the place doesn't give anything to that or against it, honestly. Because the way that she was double dashing, the way that she's constantly making excuses, the way that she's not honest, the way that she was avoiding the cops to do the interview, you have to take all of those things into consideration. She sat there and listed all the ways that she was avoiding the police. Literally. Never mentions getting a message, nothing, but makes a weird ass statement about a friend of hers hanging out in the Jack in the Box parking lot while she was out dashing. Why? Because there's some sort of orchestrated system going on here, and he's the person who you get the little extras from as you're taking off with the order? I don't know. We know that there was blue substance on her desk that they said was Addie's in the reports, or at least that's what the reports say, that the blue powder was Addie's. And we know from interviews from other people that they liked that kind of stuff. Apparently it's not uncommon. But I don't know if they had it before Molly got there. I don't know if they had it after Molly got there. All I know is that Molly shows up. Her story's out of this world crazy. all over the freaking place. And that's where all these noises start. That's when Dylan adds a contact to her phone. I don't know. I don't know what to freaking think. If they would stop being so purposely deceitful, if they would stop being so misdirecting, then maybe we could put more of it together. But that's why nobody needs to claim that they know what the frick is going on right now. All we know is what the pieces of paper say as we get them. All we know is what the videos show as we watch them. But what we do know for a fact, when we read all these papers, when we watch all these videos, when we go over all these interviews, is that nothing makes the puzzle pieces fit. That they have yet to actually show us a full picture. We've got 30 different pictures going on, trying to be squished all together with freaking insane force into this little bitty tiny frame, and none of them have anything to do with each other. None of them connect, none of them add up, none of them make any sense. And right when you think you have some factual information, another court document comes out or another police document comes out, and it throws that information in the water, out the window, under the car, under the bus, in the trash, however you want to say it. It makes everything irrelevant. Because I ask again, if they had this information that showed a 2:15 order timestamp for Xana, and they knew for a fact that it was Xana's account because look, it has her freaking name on it, why would the court documents claim that they only had Ethan's paperwork, they didn't have Xana's, but then nothing was also authenticated? Why were they perfectly okay with filing false information to the court? Why were they perfectly okay with filing incorrect, incomplete, not true information to the courts in March of 2025? Why? So you're telling me that both sides saw this information and the state didn't be like, oh, hold on. No, we have Xana's receipt. We just didn't give it to you yet. Now here you go. Because again, the order was made and then nothing else happened. No other information. We are now seeing this in January. We don't know when they got it. It should have been with the subpoena or with the warrants for DoorDash. It should have been something that they had 3 years ago. This should have been something they instantly had the second they found out about the DoorDash. So if they had it then, when they did the search warrants and they got the information from the DoorDash people, why did they not have it to submit it in 2025? And why is Judge Hippler telling us Xana and Ethan weren't home, but oh, we have a DoorDash order? And I say it that way because I've only ever ordered DoorDash at my place of work, for lunch where I'm physically at, or my house. Yes, they could have been at Sigma Chi and ordered it ahead of time. Very possible. But we also don't have a freaking timestamp for them leaving that stupid party. The only thing that we've actually heard is from David Barriocha claiming that around 1:45, Xana and Ethan were heading out of the door when she suddenly turned to him and made some sort of comment about how he never comes over to see her anymore. And that was it. But when it comes to the Sigma Chi party, we've gotten nothing but inconsistent information about that too, because what did we just recently find out? Bethany tells us in an interview that Ethan and a freshman went over to 1122 to escort her, Bethany, Maddie, and Xana over to the Sigma Chi party. But what else does she say? She said that her and Maddie and the freshman left ahead of Ethan and Xana. So we actually don't know what time they left their house, what time they got to Sigma Chi. We only know that the reports are telling us that Dylan saw them there at around like 10:30, which is later than the 8 to 9 time frame they told us about Bethany. Which again, if she, living in 1122, if she, the surviving roommate of the situation, saw Xana and Ethan at a later time than Bethany, why wouldn't you put that part in the PCA? Why would you put information that doesn't really do much of anything in the PCA? Well, because you knew that you were writing just a bunch of bullshit. And that PCA is so marked up. Like I've gone through that thing and marked all kinds of false information. The whole thing is just blue everywhere. So eventually we're going to do that video too. Which again, we already knew that it was irrelevant because Thompson told us that it was irrelevant.
I just don't understand how we got here. I really just don't. There's no way in shit. Even if Bryan Kohberger was guilty, you'd be so stupid. You would be so freaking dumb to see the lack of everything, knowing you could get away with the shit, and yet you plead guilty. It doesn't add up in any realm of reality. It doesn't add up at all. If you literally saw everything and knew there was nothing, why would you plead guilty if you knew that you could get away with it? Why? There's no evidence here. Bill Thompson stood up and said, we cannot directly connect Bryan Kohberger to 1122 or its residents. We know that the towers have a large number of range and there's all kinds of people, vast number of college students in that area. We don't know where he was. What? How did we get here? Coercion, threats. What else? Because this didn't just happen. I told you guys to pay attention to the things that led up to the plea. What happened? Bill Thompson's little bestie got outed for being a liar. They got told no when it came to the alternative suspects, even though the alternative suspects literally contained the person that was the lead suspect for the entire time. Also, the same person that wasn't even fingerprinted until May of 2025, and the judge refused to let them use that information. This person is literally marked as the lead suspect in the forensic documents, and Judge Hippler turned them down. Hippler's a paid-off biatch, in my opinion. I really do think that he's just a loser. Thank you, Gail. Thank you for being here for almost a year. Thank you so much. Thank you for the 5 keyboard, Crime Fighter. Why are they barking? Oh, I hear an ATV. Why is there an ATV? I don't live on a dirt road. They'll be fine. I am trying to actually get like a job with that SOSE degree so that I am not just sitting here talking behind a camera. I want to put it to use. I think my kid's old enough now to where I think I can put it to some use. We'll see. We'll see. Thank you for the gifted memberships, Jean. I appreciate that. Oh, thank you for the 10 gifted memberships, Carrie. Thank you. And thank you for the $2.99. I'm just going to say Lisa because I don't want to say the first part wrong. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. No. Because if it's anything like what I see, like in the report, it looks like they maybe wrote 4 sentences. If it's Adam. I'm going to try. It's one of the ones I've been wanting to try to get, but I'm just not really quite sure if it was them or if it was Idaho, because the reports aren't very well written to where you can really sort of figure it out. And I know that at this point, we still haven't seen anything in way of Enan Harsh, which, by the way, let me stop for a second. Someone said earlier in the chat that they heard something about Enon walking like right into 1119 and like just walking into the back of the house and the girl having to tell him to like get out. Is that a thing? Anybody else hear that? I don't know if that person is still in here. I don't know if that person is still in here. But there's no reports about Enon, so it was a girl from 1119. Do you know where this was said? Do you know where that was said? Because I don't know if it's a report. I don't know if it's a report. Well, I mean, I showed you the receipt. I showed you the black and white. So that's not true. I showed you the black and white. It's Molly that doesn't mention it in her interview, which I find odd because I don't know why you wouldn't just like say that. I don't know why.
a year. Thank you for being here for so long. Who's this stupid little loser? I guess somebody getting blocked because they're stupid and a loser. Bye. Yeah. I'll do it one more time before we get off here. Because I'm seeing the camera like shaking in my thing and it's just like getting on my nerves. So we're about to get off this anyway. Let's see. DoorDash Info. And there's no restrictions on this file. It shouldn't have me have to like approve it or anything like that. There you go. No, there's no mods in here. If you get kicked out, it's because I don't like you. The links are on Connor's channel. Just go to YouTube, or I think I still have it open. Okay, here it is right here. This is Connor's channel that has Ava and Kai Davis's interviews on them. Right there. So this is the Google Drive. And then this one is the one for Connor's channel that has the interviews on it. Five hours and 26 minutes in. Holy shit. People really have like too much spare time to be live that long. It's crazy. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, my son had to make an announcement to me real quick. Hold on. I want to write this. OMG. This probably broke my screen, but you know what? I'm not going to check it right now because I don't want to freak out. So I'm going to check it in a minute. Okay, let's see. War. Never heard of this before. War Deadpool. 11:19. 5 hours, 26 minutes in. Okay. All I know is that when Enon came out to Lana's channel, that she pulled up a map and he told her where to move around on the map, because at first Lana thought that the vehicle that he saw was all the way down on Linda Lane. She says that, which is fine. I've been confused about the 1112 camera before, to where I thought that we were looking at 1122, and I didn't realize for the first like 2 days, 2.5 years ago, that wasn't the house. So I'm not saying that to say anything else, okay? But when she pulled the map up, he said, no, it was over here. And he makes her move closer to where King and Queen do this. And where he pointed to on her map, on Google Maps, as she had it pulled up on her live with him, and I think Bella was with her too, he points to the corner where the freaking dumpster is on the 1112 camera. So that's why when he told that Frank loser on his channel that is his headlights on Linda Lane at 126, I was expecting around like 125-ish, 124 to 125-ish to see Enon's car pulling in with some sort of big baller SUV sitting right there that he could see the back of. Those logistics are not present in the camera. Okay? All I'm saying is that what he came out here and said, we are not seeing physical proof of. Not only are we not seeing the physical proof of that in the cameras based off of his own words navigating the person on the map of where he saw this SUV, but we also have not seen a single report that leads to being Enon. None. That's why I want to see for sure if he was actually subpoenaed or not. And it's on the list of things to do is FOIA Latah County and see if there is a subpoena in his name that they can give me information for, because it'll say who got dispatched out to his house, who put the information on his door, what time he came and picked it up, all the things. It'll have all the information. It's 2 hours. Okay. I can listen to stuff in the background, but I'll probably have to take like phone notes if she says something crazy. It showed at 3:54 a.m., the customer through the DoorDash app messaged the driver and said, "Are you having trouble finding the place?" Something like that. I'll open it one more time and show you. Hold on. And then I got to get off of this thing because I'm on here longer than I told my kids I would be. Right here. Okay. Hold on. I gotta separate this out. This is the information right here. dash her initials, same ID as the other paper that we have. There's the address. There's Xana's name. Placed November 13th, 2022, 2:15 a.m. Delivered 3:59 a.m. Customer text Dasher, 3:54 a.m. Are you having trouble finding it? So I don't know why they chose again to not put this information. Hold on. So I don't know why they chose to put in information that's not true. Yeah, this one doesn't show the restaurant. The other one does. The one that is still connected on the Case of Public Interest website in that 70-page drop shows Jack in the Box. But this one doesn't. Does it have a spot for it? It doesn't even have a spot for it. Look at that. Dasher ID, delivery ID, Dasher ID, address. Why is it on there twice? Okay, no. Dasher name, deliver ID, Dasher ID, the address, customer ID, Dasher phone, customer name, order placed, order delivered, and then additional information. The other one is the one that had the latitude and longitude of where it says that it was supposed to go, stuff like that. So I don't know why it doesn't say Jack in the Box. But everything else on here, and again, this ID matches. If you go to that one that's still on the Case of Public Interest website, it's the same number. But this is the message that she sent, according to what they're telling us, at 3:54 in the morning. Two hours. 2 hours. Isn't that wild? Isn't that absolutely crazy? I love how losers have like multiple accounts. Like, I don't know why they keep doing all this stuff. And like see how the sarcastic stupidity, like I already don't like this stupid smug look on your dumb little face. But when you say stupid shit like, so when are you guys going to get him out or his appeal in the works? Oh, right. He has none. Like, you're just a dumbass who doesn't care about the facts. You should care that the courts lie because they could lie on you, honey. Don't act like you're so untouchable in the situation. Everyone listening to my voice right now, everyone in this chat could easily be screwed over like this because they don't care. You're nothing but a number, baby. No one actually gives a shit about you when it comes to anyone of authority. You are worth millions of dollars to everyone but yourself because you're nothing but something to be harvested. So instead of being a smartass, maybe look at the actual facts. Take your stupid bias out of it and pay attention to the facts that the courts have lied for 3 years about simple shit. Because that's the problem here. So you can either pay attention like an adult to the facts, or you can keep being a little immature loser and talk to yourself. Because we are adults here. And we're looking at real actual facts, and we're not being stupid and immature. I don't have time for stupid and immature. Mm-hmm. Yep. I wish we had that information. I really want that information. Really, really, really bad. Thank you for the $4.99, Charles. I appreciate that so much. Yeah, there's people in this chat. Greg. You don't even want to know what I think of when I hear the name Greg. That's nothing that we care about, honestly. And you're not nice either, because you're sitting here being a stupid smartass instead of paying attention to the facts that there's lies being talked about. Like, instead of being like, oh my God, what are y'all going to do? You should be like, holy shit, why did the judge let them lie? I mean, damn, common sense. And Google can be your best friend, baby. Learn how to do some research. Stop expecting people to hand you information. Stop expecting people to hand you knowledge. Put some actual due diligence in and go and look it up yourself. Shit, I gave you a list of people. I gave you a list. People plead guilty to things they don't do all the time. A man went into a police department expecting them to help him find his father that was missing. Instead, they took him to the interrogation room and ended up messing with him so bad that he pled guilty in extreme detail to murdering his father, who was very much still alive and showed up about 10 days later. Don't act like it's not possible. Do some research before you come out here running your mouth about things that are real people. Don't come out here so completely uneducated. Cool, have your opinion. You can think that Bryan is guilty all you want to, but you can think that Bryan is guilty and still say this judge is wrong in his rulings. You can think that Bryan is guilty and still say, holy shit, why did they lie about that? You can think that Bryan is guilty and still have questions about what happened in this case. If you're sitting here saying Bryan is guilty and you have no questions, then you're here for entertainment purposes only because you're nothing but a jerk. And for some reason, being an asshole to people, get your jollies off. Prove me wrong. Go do some actual due diligence and find some answers yourself. Then come back and talk to me. And that goes for everyone. That goes for everyone. And then MSM, that's the problem. Why not show all of the footage where he's not wearing gloves, where he's shopping with a person, where it's just nice and normal? Why are we only cherry picking and putting out there what carries the narrative? That's not journalism. That's not journalism. We have literally here on this channel showed everything. Everything, every document, every interview, every piece of fact gets talked about on this channel. In my opinion, still stands. It's not cherry picked. It goes with the flow of what we're being told. And until something comes out that actually makes me believe otherwise, this is where we are, because they have failed to prove anything. How can you sit here and be okay with Bill Thompson coming on in every single interview and saying, oh, we have no working narrative? Yeah, the FBI told us not to even bother. We just wouldn't understand. So we just didn't even bother. We didn't ask him nothing. What? You have a quadruple homicide, a missing murder weapon, 3 years of a fight in court, and you don't even ask for a simple statement? You don't even bother asking a question? Oh, the FBI said no, so we just didn't do it. It's okay. I'm going to retire. You better hope you never find yourself in a stupid situation, honey. You really probably should just stay in your house forever. Stay in your house forever. Yeah, and until we hear details, anybody can sit up and be like, yes, 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 yes. I don't really give a shit about none of that. I don't. Especially as monotone as we know that Kohberger actually is because of his autism. The way that he stood up and said that doesn't show me nothing. Shows me nothing. There's no evidence. Oh, so you're proving that you're just some sort of criminal. Good to know. You no longer get attention. Obviously, right? Simply. Yeah, stay in your house. You kind of have to these days. See? Okay, for one, please learn how to spell because I just really just can't. For those of you who are in my comments, this is the guy with like the crazy run-on sentences. That like it's this long and it's no periods or punctuation or nothing. It's that guy. It's that guy. See, that's what I meant. If you would actually go and do your own due diligence, you could go pull up the paperwork on the Case of Interest website. I'm not going to hold your hands. And that goes for any of the idiots that are out here. Hate watching this because they have nothing better to do but be in their mama's basements touching themselves. And I know there's plenty of you out there, especially from Reddit. I'm not stupid. But see, feeding the trolls is also feeding information out to other people because some people might not have known it was out there. But yes, the paperwork is on the thing. We all die, baby. So what's your point? We all have an expiration date. And if that's how you really feel, take your ass somewhere. Yeah, the people from Reddit I can't deal with. They're stupid. The people from Reddit have no common sense. For the majority. I can't say that for everyone. But I know there's a group on Reddit that hate me and say stupid shit like how they wish that my ex would find me and my kids and finish the job. But they're justice warriors wishing for us to be brutally murdered and my house burnt down. That's what they're wishing when they say that. Because they pay so much attention to me that they know my life story. They've even tried to use my daughter's HIV diagnosis against me because they're fucking assholes. All in the name of justice. I get inboxed shit like that. In the name of justice. Reddit can kiss my fat ass. For sure. For real. For real. And Enton should be freaking ashamed of himself. Like Ashley Banfield, she's proven herself to be this grifter. But Bryan Enton should really be ashamed of himself because they let him in their home. And all he's caring about is like Brian's sister coming out here and talking and the banana bullshit. Like he's not going through the documents. He's not out here asking questions. Why is Bryan Enton not asking about the 227 scream? Why is Bryan Enton himself not filing FOIAs to get information? He's not doing shit. He gets still, even though he has his own channel, he gets handed what to say. He gets handed what to go do because it's not really his channel. It's an organization's channel that he's just the name of. That's how that works. It has nothing to do with it being his own. Authenticity is very rare these days. I'm just saying. All right, I'm getting it off of here. I'm going to go ahead and clip just the pieces that I showed you guys at the very beginning of this to drop tomorrow because we talked a lot in this. But I'll put the important information out there. Again, the link will be in the description box for the Google Drive as soon as I get off of here and the video processes off of StreamYard to YouTube, then I will put that in there. But I think that's it. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. If I think of anything else, I'll put something in the community tab. But I can't think of anything else right now. Thank you for the 5 Mountain Lover. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and get off of here now. Thank you so much for the super stickers and the super chats and those of you that joined and gifted memberships. You guys are awesome. And thank you for caring about the facts and coming in here so quickly. And again, I don't know who FOIA'd this stuff, and I'm sorry, but I'm not going to hold on to truth and information for longer than I have to whenever this is such a big question out here. And again, I run life and this channel by myself with no help, no mods, no editors, no nothing. And I know that within 30 minutes, I would have been live, and within an hour, I would have been posting something with that information. And I gave over 24. So it is what it is. And now we know the truth. At least what they want us to say is the truth. Yeah, they'll be all right. I've given them plenty of content, I'm sure. We might have even given each other plenty of content. I don't know who the frick it was. But they can have the access now. It's going to be in the Google Drive. You guys go have a great night. I need some tea. I need some like lavender for real tea. I'm stressed. It's going to be a long week. We've got a lot to go over. I'm going to go ahead and get off of this so I can get a couple of things done before I go to bed. You guys have a great night. One more time, I'm going to go ahead and roll this out. Please do not forget to leave a like on your way out and subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed already. All right, you guys. See y'all.